Hello everyone, the countdown is on. Next week, version 6.1 drops, with Nefer finally stepping onto the stage and a Furina rerun sharing that front row, all before the banners roll over to Arlecchino and Jungli later on. I know you've been asking for it, a straightforward Phase 1 Primogem count, a clear answer to how much you can actually pocket before those Furina and Nefer banners disappear from your screen for good. So that's exactly what this video delivers. I'm going to lay out every single Primogem source you can count on, note the parts that can shift a little depending on schedule or your own speed, and show you exactly how to time your logins so not a single one slips past you before that banner swap. Looking for the best way to recharge in Genshin Impact? Lootbar.gg is the smarter choice. It works exactly like the in-game top-up, but it's way cheaper. New users get 5% off with the link in the pinned comment, and existing users get 3% off. Lootbar also has special deals on crystal packs, including the 6480 bundle, and even an all-in-one package with everything you need. See this? The regular $100 pack only costs $82 on Lootbar. The process is simple and secure. You don't need your password or login. Just enter your UID, pick your server, choose your pack, and your crystals are delivered in seconds. Players around the world trust Lootbar because it's fast, safe, and affordable. So don't waste your money, click the link in the description or pinned comment and start saving on your top-ups today. Lootbar, safe, fast, and way more affordable. Let's start with the daily baseline, because this really is the backbone of Phase 1 for absolutely everyone. Over the course of 21 days, your daily commissions will add up to a solid 1,260 Primogems, but that's only if you do them all. That number assumes you're actually opening the adventure handbook and clicking claim each and every day, and it assumes you don't miss any logins. If you know you have a busy stretch coming up, it's a good idea to set a phone reminder or even use the platform's app to grab them on the go. Those 4 little tasks are still the single most reliable stream of Primogems in the entire game. Now let's talk about the story. Phase 1 of 6.1 is set to give us main story rewards that are worth about 650 Primogems, plus 2 pulls. When you translate those pulls into their gem value, that adds another 320, for a combined total of 970 Primogems from the story alone. One key thing to remember this time around is that there is no new map expansion. That means exploration is not going to be carrying the gem count like it did back in version 6.0. It's important to keep your expectations grounded here. This is a mid-cycle patch, one that's focused on a big banner lineup and a lot of systems changes, but it's not a massive world drop that's full of chests waiting to be found. That's precisely why the counts in this video will look a little lighter than they did for the debut of Nod Cry. Achievements are also going to give us a tiny bump in the first half of the patch. You can probably expect to get about 50 Primogems from new tasks that you'll naturally hit just while you play through the new content. Of course, if you really enjoy tidying up those achievement tabs, you might be able to squeeze out a little more from some of the old categories you forgot about, but I'm not counting any backlogs in this total. The shop definitely matters. There is one Paimon store reset happening during Phase 1, and that represents 5 pulls, which equals 800 Primogems worth of value if you convert it. I'd recommend grabbing the Intertwined Fates first if you're saving for the current character banners. And please don't forget that the shop cycle is monthly, it's not tied to the patch day. Mark your calendar so you don't let that reset pass you by without exchanging your Stardust. The Imaginarium Theater also has a reset once inside this half, and with the new Luna stage, the new payout is a very nice 1,000 Primogems. Stygian Onslaught resets too, and that brings with it another 450 Primogems. You probably know the drill by now, but you can use it to farm artifacts in the first few days, since you can clear it much quicker than standard artifact domains, and of course for the Dust of Enlightenment to roll those artifacts. Even if you're not someone who pushes for perfect clear times, the Primogems will land in your account as long as you clear the hard stage, which most of you should be able to do. A quick note on the Spiral Abyss, there is no reset inside the first half window. That reset falls neatly in the second phase, so there's nothing to count here for floor rewards this time. Events are where Phase 1 gets a little bit unusual. The main event for this patch actually starts on the 7th of November, but the first half of the patch ends on the 11th of November, which means only a small slice of that main event falls within our savings window. That timing is a little strange, since the main event normally lands squarely in the first half of a version. It could be tied to the new UI mode that's coming. Maybe Hoyoverse wants to ease everyone in and not flood players with too much new content all at once. Since we don't yet know the exact reward curve for those opening days, and because players clear content at different speeds, a fair estimate for the first half is around 430 Primogems, with the remainder of the event's rewards landing in Phase 2. That figure can definitely shift a bit either way depending on how quickly you play, but it's a realistic anchor for your planning. Alongside that, the Saurian Sojourn event runs from the 24th of October to the 3rd of November and is worth a clean 420 Primogems. As for codes, there is no special program code drop inside the first half. The stream itself is scheduled for the second phase of the patch. However, around patch time, we do usually get at least one small code that's worth about 60 Primogems. That's not guaranteed, of course, but it has happened often enough that counting a single 60 Primogem code in your plan is pretty reasonable. I will post every single code the moment it appears, so if you missed the last set, make sure you're subscribed so you won't miss the next ones. Update maintenance is that comfortable constant we can always rely on. A smooth 600 Primogems will arrive in your mailbox as long as you log in after the servers come back up. Other small sources, which include things like character trials, early Archon quest completions, and a couple of one-off tasks, should add up to roughly 320 Primogems. That category is always a little bit flexible, but it's a good estimate. Put it all together, and the free-to-play total for Phase 1 lands at around 6,360 Primogems, which converts to about 40 pulls. If you also run Welkin during this window, that will add another 1,890, taking your new total to about 8,250 Primogems, or roughly 52 pulls. Those are the numbers you can realistically plan around without counting on anything wild, or assuming you have perfect luck in every corner of the game. Now, 40 free-to-play pulls in one half is not a jackpot patch, but it's not a disaster either. It sits right in that familiar middle lane for Genshin, when there's no new map and no anniversary cushion to fall back on. The reason 6.0 looked so huge is because new regions always flood the economy with exploration, quest chains, and first-time bonuses, and we just rode that massive wave. Mid-cycle patches like this one are always steadier. You rely on your dailies, the system resets, and a couple of events to get you through. If you went hard in the last patch, this is really the time to settle into a routine. Pick up all your scheduled rewards, and just keep your pity moving at a pace that you can control. The real reason to count Primogems isn't to chase every single banner that comes along. It's to make your own plan feel real and achievable. When you know for a fact that you have around 40 free pulls locked in for Phase 1 and roughly 52 with a Welkin, it becomes so much easier to decide whether you should push now or if you should hold for the second half and beyond. That calm feeling of control is worth more than a random 10 pull because it keeps you from tossing wishes at the wrong time. And looking ahead, just remember that the Lantern Rite isn't actually that far off if you think about how quickly this year has moved. Those patches usually arrive with a fresh set of giveaways and special events that lift everyone's totals. So, if 6.1 Phase 1 feels a little average, that's by design. The bigger spikes are on the horizon again, right when the seasonal cycle turns. That is the full picture for Phase 1 of 6.1. If this helped you get a clear view of your savings, drop a comment with your personal target for this half and share how many pulls you're aiming to have before the banners switch over. Thank you for helping the channel cross 5,700. We are already on the road to 10,000, and I am grateful for every single one of you who shows up, watches, comments, and shares. If you want more straight-talk Primogem guides with all the numbers spelled out and no fluff, like the video, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.